$540 a month. That is not a car payment. That is a mortgage payment on a home in Dixie County, Florida. While the statewide median just crossed $376,000, there are towns in this state where you can still buy a house for less than the price of a used pickup truck. Part 1 of this series got over 50,000 views in 1 week, and the #1 comment was this: "There is a catch you are not telling us." Fair enough. In this video, I am telling you the catch. Every single town, the price, the upside, and the honest reason it is that cheap. 10 more Florida towns where home prices are so low you will think it is a scam. Titusville is a city of about 50,000 people on the Space Coast, directly across the Indian River from Kennedy Space Center. The median home value sits around $280,000 according to Zillow, and homes are going pending in roughly 16 days. That is significantly faster than the state average. The upside here is obvious. SpaceX launches from your backyard. Cape Canaveral is a 10-minute drive. The Merritt Island National Wildlife Refuge wraps around the city, and Titusville's cost of living index sits at 95.6, roughly 4.5% below the national average. The catch is that Titusville's economy was devastated when the space shuttle program ended in 2011, and it has never fully recovered. The city has 11 months of housing supply right now, which is deep into buyer's market territory. Homes are selling at roughly 88% of asking price. If you work remotely or have a fixed retirement income, the math works. If you need a local job outside of aerospace contracting, the options thin out fast. But at $280,000 for a Space Coast address, Titusville is the most affordable way to live near the ocean on Florida's Atlantic side. And city number 9 has prices nearly $50,000 lower. Sebring is a city of about 11,000 people in Highlands County in the Florida Heartland. The average home value is around $235,000 according to Zillow, down 2.7% over the past year. Sebring is best known for the Sebring International Raceway, home of the 12 Hours of Sebring, one of the most prestigious endurance races in the world. The town sits on the shores of Lake Jackson, and the historic downtown has a walkable circle with restaurants, shops, and a genuine small town feel that most of Florida has priced out of existence. The catch is real, and you need to hear it. Highlands County ranks in the top 5 in Florida for poverty rate. Commenter Korvkar on Part 1 put it bluntly: "Some of us live here. We know exactly why it is affordable. It is a warning dressed up as a bargain." That is a fair criticism. Median household income in Highlands County is well below the state average. The job market runs on agriculture and healthcare. If your income depends on the local economy, Sebring will feel like a trap. If your income is independent, a pension, Social Security, or remote work, Sebring offers lakefront living and genuine character at a price that disappeared from coastal Florida a decade ago. The next town sits at the crossroads of 2 major interstates and costs even less. Lake City is a city of about 12,000 people in Columbia County. It sits at the intersection of Interstate 75 and Interstate 10, which makes it one of the most connected small cities in all of North Florida. The median home price is around $215,000, with a cost of living roughly 18% below the national average, according to multiple sources. Lake City has Olustee State Park, the Ichetucknee Springs State Park within a short drive, and the kind of old Florida landscape that is increasingly rare. The catch is geographic isolation from major metros. Jacksonville is an hour east. Gainesville is 45 minutes south. Lake City itself has limited dining, shopping, and entertainment. Healthcare is available locally, but specialized care requires a drive. The upside for retirees is the combination of interstate access, spring-fed rivers, and a price point that allows outright ownership on a fixed income. A $215,000 home with 5% down runs roughly $1,200 a month. And the next town is a Gulf Coast suburb of Tampa for about the same price. Holiday is an unincorporated community of about 23,000 people in Pasco County on the Gulf of Mexico, northwest of Tampa. Despite being a waterfront community, the typical home value in Holiday sits around $230,000 according to Zillow, with an estimated monthly payment of roughly $1,706. Holiday is surprisingly affordable for a beach town. Residents have access to boating, fishing, and Gulf sunsets without paying Clearwater or St. Pete prices. Tampa is roughly 40 minutes south. The catch is that Holiday sits in Pasco County, which has higher flood insurance requirements in coastal zones. FEMA's risk rating 2.0 has pushed premiums higher in recent years. Property crime in parts of Pasco runs above the state average, and the unincorporated status means no city government, which some buyers see as a benefit and others see as a lack of services. For someone who wants Gulf Coast access within driving distance of Tampa at half the price of Pinellas County, Holiday is one of the last affordable coastal options. But budget for insurance before you budget for the mortgage. And the next town has almost no flood risk at all because it is about as far from the coast as you can get in Florida. Frostproof is a town of about 3,500 people in Polk County, deep in Florida's Citrus Belt. The name is not a joke. In the 1880s, locals believed the area was so far south that frost could never reach it. It did. The typical home value in Frostproof sits around $206,000 according to Zillow. The town sits on a chain of lakes and has a crime rate that is lower than 75% of communities in America, according to Neighborhood Scout. That safety number is unusually strong for a town at this price point. The catch is size. Frostproof is tiny. The nearest major grocery store is a drive. The nearest hospital is in Sebring or Lake Wales. Entertainment is what you make of it. The job market is citrus agriculture and not much else. But for a retiree who wants a quiet lake town with low crime and home prices $200,000 below the state median, Frostproof delivers exactly what the name does not promise: security. The next town is twice the size and has a history that goes back to the 1800s. And if you watched part 1 and came back for part 2, you and I are clearly doing the same math. Subscribe. I cover Florida every single week with real data and zero hype. The top 5 starts now, and every town is cheaper than the last. Bartow is a city of about 20,000 people and the county seat of Polk County, located between Tampa and Orlando. The median home value is approximately $256,000, with annual population growth of 1.7%. Bartow calls itself the City of Oaks and Azaleas, and the historic downtown has some of the most beautiful architecture in Central Florida. Homes dating to the late 1800s line oak-canopied streets. The projected job growth over the next decade is nearly 44%, one of the strongest figures of any town on this list. The catch is phosphate. Polk County sits on one of the largest phosphate mining operations in the world. Parts of the county have environmental concerns related to decades of mining activity. Sinkholes are a real risk in this part of Florida, something your viewers asked about repeatedly in part 1, and something every buyer needs to investigate property by property with a geological survey before closing. Do not skip that step. That said, Bartow's combination of historic charm, interstate access, job growth, and sub-260 pricing makes it one of the most undervalued county seats in the state. And the next town in the same region costs nearly $80,000 less. Bowling Green is a town of about 3,000 people in Hardy County, roughly 30 miles east of Sarasota. The typical home value here is approximately $176,000. At that price point, with 5% down in current rates, the estimated monthly mortgage payment is around $1,000. Bowling Green sits in the heart of Florida's cattle and citrus country. The Peace River runs nearby, the same river known for megalodon tooth fossil hunting that we covered in Arcadia in part 1. The catch is that Hardy County's violent crime rate runs above the state average. The median household income is low. The nearest hospital is in Wauchula, 10 miles north, and it is a small facility. This is not a town for someone who needs walkable amenities or quick access to specialists. This is a town for someone who wants to own a home outright on a modest income in a rural setting with genuine old Florida character. At $176,000, the math is hard to argue with if the trade-offs fit your life. And the next town drops below $160,000. If you have made it to number 3, you are not casually browsing, you are doing research. Subscribe. I am covering another state next week that is even cheaper than Florida. Chiefland is a small city of about 7,500 people in Levy County on Florida's Nature Coast, about 40 minutes southwest of Gainesville. Home values in the Chiefland area sit around $160,000. Levy County is unique because it includes Cedar Key, one of the most charming coastal villages in Florida, and the entire coastline is part of the Lower Suwannee and Cedar Key's National Wildlife Refuges. Manatee Springs State Park is minutes away. Gainesville, with the University of Florida and its medical center, is a 40-minute drive. The catch is property crime. Chiefland's property crime rate runs significantly above the state average. The city is small enough that a few incidents per year skew the statistics, but buyers should be aware. The job market is agricultural. Dining and retail options are minimal. But at $160,000 for a home base with access to both Gainesville's amenities and some of the most pristine natural coastline in the state, Chiefland represents a price-to-access ratio that barely exists anywhere else in Florida. And the next town is even cheaper, with home values below $140,000. Wauchula is a city of about 5,000 people and the county seat of Hardy County. The average home value is approximately $137,000 according to Zillow. That puts it roughly 46% below the state average. Wauchula sits in the deepest part of the Florida Heartland, surrounded by cattle ranches and citrus groves. The Peace River runs through the county. The town has a small but genuine downtown, a county courthouse, and the basic services you need day to day. The catch is serious, and I will not sugarcoat it. Hardy County has one of the higher crime rates in rural Florida. The median household income is around $31,000, roughly half the state average. Healthcare is limited locally. The poverty rate is elevated. This is the kind of town where the low price is a direct reflection of the economic conditions. For a buyer with independent income, the math is extraordinary. $137,000 for a home in Florida. The monthly payment with 5% down is roughly $770. But you need to go in with open eyes. And the number 1 town in this countdown is the cheapest county in the entire state of Florida. Cross City sits in Dixie County on the Big Bend coast of Florida. The median home price in Dixie County is approximately $95,000, according to Make Florida Your Home. The estimated monthly mortgage payment is $540. Let that number sit for a moment. $540 a month for a home in the state of Florida in 2026. Dixie County is the cheapest county to buy a house in the entire state. The area borders the Gulf of Mexico, where the coastline is undeveloped salt marsh, oyster beds, and some of the best scalloping waters in Florida. The Suwannee River, one of the most iconic rivers in the American South, runs along the county's northern border. Cross City itself has a population of about 1,700. The town has a gas station, a few restaurants, a Dollar General, and not much else. The catch is everything that number implies. This is one of the most remote and economically depressed areas in Florida. The nearest hospital is in Gainesville, over an hour away. The job market is timber and fishing. Internet connectivity is limited in parts of the county. There is no Uber, no DoorDash, no Target within 45 minutes. But here's what Dixie County does have: Gulf Coast access, river access, some of the lowest property taxes in the state, crime rates that run below the national average, and a mortgage payment that is less than most people's car insurance. For someone with a pension, Social Security, or remote work income who wants the most land and the most quiet for the least money in Florida, Dixie County is the mathematical answer to that question. $95,000, $540 a month in the state of Florida. That is not a scam, that is a trade-off. And now you know exactly what the trade-off is, so here's the pattern across all 20 towns we have covered in parts 1 and 2. There are 3 forces creating these affordable pockets. First, the coastal premium. Florida's expensive reputation is driven almost entirely by the coast. Move 30 minutes inland and the price curve changes completely. Second, the income gap. These towns are priced to local incomes, not transplant budgets. When the median household income is $31,000, the housing market prices accordingly. And third, the honesty gap. Most content about cheap Florida real estate sells the price and hides the catch. The catch is real. It is crime in some of these towns. It is isolation in others. It is sinkholes, insurance, limited health care, or an economy that runs on agriculture. But knowing the catch is what separates a smart buyer from a stuck one. Those are 10 more Florida towns where home prices are so low you will think it is a scam. If you watch both parts, you now know 20 towns and 20 catches. Subscribe, drop a comment, and tell me which town you want me to do a deep dive on. We will see you in the next one.